Tonight, mass casualties across two countries as Israel and Iran ramp up their respective attacks, both parties refusing to back down. Overnight, a fresh wave of missile strikes. Air raid sirens tolling across Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Iran claiming its assault not only breached Israel's sophisticated defence system, but managed to turn it upon itself, killing at least 8 and wounding dozens. In the coastal city of Haifa, chaos on the streets. The city's port under siege from an Iranian ballistic missile attack. In Iran, Israeli strikes have killed at least 224, including women and children, and 3 more top military commanders, injuring more than 1,000 as Israel relentlessly targets the country's military operation. Roads out of Tehran clogged, the strikes triggering a mass exodus. Both sides are refusing to back down, Israel maintaining its main goal remains the destruction of Iran's nuclear capabilities.
We will not have a second Holocaust, a nuclear Holocaust. It's not going to happen. Never again is now, and we have to act now.
Iran claiming it'll defend itself to the bitter end.
We currently possess a complete database of all your sensitive and critical locations and vital points. Therefore, we emphasise, do not allow the criminal regime to use you as human shields.
In both countries, civilians are suffering the worst.
Next to my mother's house was bombed, and my whole family is quite anxious.
It's kind of scary going out at night.
As most world leaders call for calm.
We, along with other like-minded countries, do want to see that priority on dialogue and diplomacy.
There must be de-escalation of this conflict.
I think it's time for a deal, and we'll see what happens, but sometimes they have to fight it out.
The fear that the latest escalation could completely destabilise the entire region. Journalist Amy Gutman is in Tel Aviv and is here to tell us more about what's going on there. Amy, last night sounds like it was an intensive night of strikes. What was it like?
I have to say it was probably the worst night. Actually, in fact, it was the worst night so far for those of us staying and living here in Tel Aviv. The booms were louder than ever, felt nearer than ever. Thankfully, where I was staying, all I could see was light through my shelter, through a small crack in the window of the shelter. But I have friends who were texting me in real time saying that their buildings were shaking. And I'm now standing here in the center of Tel Aviv, and it's just a tangle of metal all around me. I wish I could show you everything around me. What you might see in the background is just a fraction of what I'm seeing.
You say you were in a shelter and you could see a crack of light. Do you feel safe in that shelter, and do you feel safe staying in Tel Aviv?
I feel safe staying in Tel Aviv because I know that it's a very small percentage that are getting through. On the other hand, everyone is having conversations all day, every day about even people who have been through all of the wars, people who have been on the front lines. Everyone is debating, should we stay in the mamad, which is the shelter that some people are lucky enough to have within their homes, which is essentially a safe room. That's where I've been staying at a friend's place. Or do we go down to the lower ground shelters, which are communal spaces on the ground and lower ground floors? Everyone is debating if the building is hit, what's the worst position? As far as I can tell, there's no clear answer yet. The best place is the nearest place.
Amy, what do Israelis make of this growing escalation in the conflict between Israel and Iran?
Israelis who are even the most hardened have said that this feels unprecedented. This level of attack and this level of threat and this constancy, this constant threat is simply unprecedented. The fact that the airport will be shut for 2 weeks, Israelis have really never experienced anything like it, and there is real fear. On the other hand, people feel very strongly that the job must be finished once and for all, because of course, all of the terror attacks, most of the terror attacks in this country, no matter how they come to us, rockets, missiles, car bombings, bus bombings, these are all proxies from Iran. So there is a sense that unless this problem is solved for good, we cannot have peace in this region and this country.
I suppose the question then is what does it mean to solve it for good? We read this morning, our time, that Donald Trump vetoed an Israeli plan to kill the Iranian supreme leader. What do you think? What do people in Israel think about this? Is this really about nuclear capabilities of Iran, or is the end game really here regime change?
I think the answer is both, but I think the reality is, and I think it's fairly irrefutable, that the only way to properly de-weaponize, denuclearize, and to eliminate this constant threat of terrorism, either through nuclear capabilities and or through these proxies who've been waging war on Israel, is through proper regime change. And I think that's why we've been seeing not just military action, but also these assassinations of high-ranking leadership of the IRGC. We wouldn't have seen that if this wasn't about regime change as well. I think they both go hand in hand.
All right, Amy, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you very much for speaking to us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.